Welcome to CLA 215, Section 8, Communication among Hidden and Membership Group. Introduction. Society is made up of different social units and institutions. Apart from the family and other social institutions, such as the school and the religious institutions, there are other social groups. The aggregate of the nature of symbolic interactions among members of these social units gives shape to the larger society. While identities and activities of some of these groups are known to the public and endorsed by the constituted authorities, the case is different in some other groups whose activities and characters are concealed from the public. In this study session, therefore, we want to discuss these two groups, membership and hidden groups, and how they use communication to facilitate social cohesion among their members. Learning outcome. When you have studied this session, should be able to 1. Differentiate between hidden and membership groups, and 2. Discuss how communication is used among hidden and membership groups. Hidden groups versus membership groups. As the name implies, hidden groups are groups whose members' identities and conduct are concealed from public. Water and Bianchi, 1989, describe hidden populations as a group whose activities are clandestine and therefore concealed from the view of mainstream society and agencies of social control. Byams, Goldberg, Malcolm Ishmael, and Wallace, 2013, describe hidden groups as groups, that is, communities functioning in communication network which use intentionally or not the surrounding background communication to disguise their existence. These groups of people are more difficult to study and reach with communication messages than non-hidden groups. Examples of hidden groups are users of outlawed or unauthorized substances, drugs such as marijuana, cocaine, and heroin. In Nigeria today, gay and lesbian people are a hidden population. Membership groups, also known as patron groups, are not involved as a group in unlawful activities, but they have clear-cut ways of interaction which set them out of a group within the society. They congregate in specific places and share specific activities. Membership of these groups is by application and in some cases by official admission. Examples of patron or membership groups are the clubs, societies, and unions. In Nigerian higher institutions of learning, associations such as the Kegite Club, the Sigma Club, the Union of Campus Journalists, and various students' organizations duly recognized and approved by the school authorities present unique examples of patron or membership groups. How communication is used among hidden and membership groups. The core ingredient of symbolic interactions among members of any social group is communication. Communication among hidden and membership groups perform primarily the basic functions it performs in other social contexts. These functions include 1. Information. Members use verbal and non-verbal communication to share messages, to notify one another about events and activities, such as group meetings and projects. 2. Mobilization. Members employ communication to gather support from among members for group goals and targets. Mobilization has to do with getting everyone to share in the belief that a certain cause should be pursued and vigorously pursuing it. 3. Entertainment. Nearly all groups use communication to ease off tension, create a light atmosphere and mood during discussions. Some groups even create time meant only for entertainment. 4. education. Groups employ communication to enlighten their members about issues pertaining to them. Until recently, people living with HIV were referred to as hidden groups. These people employ communication to educate their members on LD, that is, LD or positive living habits, adherence to treatment, and related matters. 5. Socialization. New members of each group must learn the ways of the group. New initiates in the Kegite Club must learn the modes of greeting members as well as the club language. Communication is used for this purpose. 6. Storage. Communication performs archival functions for groups. Members store information pertaining to the group in written or oral forms. Most clubs keep well-documented minutes of meetings and files copies of memoranda for record purposes. 7. Warmth. Communication, especially oral communication, promotes warmth interpersonal relationships among members of a group. 8. Conflict management. Groups go through conflicts. Wherever there are people, there will be conflicts. Communication helps groups to resolve their misunderstandings and manage their conflicts. Peculiar use of communication among hidden groups. In addition to the foregoing functions that communication performs among the hidden and membership groups, communication among hidden groups perform two major functions of bonding and screening. Let us discuss this in details. 1. Bonding. This is a stage in interpersonal relationships at which two or more separate individuals become so united as to be called one. In romantic relationships, bonding occurs when two people, before now it is used to be a man and a woman, are pronounced husband and wife. Now, the permutation ranges keeps growing. Bonding is not only a stage, it is also a process by which the separate individuals that make up the group become closely connected and interdependent. Communication serves to move groups towards the bonding stage by communicating consistently and especially through expressions and symbols peculiar to them. Members of a group grows in their oneness. When hidden group members meet and speak their peculiar expressions, their sense of oneness is enhanced and a sense of bonding grows from there. 2. Screening. Through communication, a hidden group screens in their members and screens out non-members. Communication becomes a password by which one is admitted or not into the group. Phatic communion is especially employed in this regard. Many groups have elaborate words and sentences that must be uttered by a person to show he or she is a member of that group. Inability to say those words disqualifies a person. Study section summary. Our study section has reviewed that as it is in the family and in any other social group, communication is vital to the social cohesion of both hidden and membership groups. The two groups use communication for different purposes. Besides, hidden groups use communication in some peculiar ways. For instance, hidden groups employ communication to screen members and non-members and to enhance bonding, a sense of brotherhood among their members. End of study section 8. Thanks for listening.